He's here. He's here. Perfect timing. Perfect timing. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Milan Reports podcast. Well, it's really the preview episode once again. Luckily, we are here. Fridays, per usual, whenever there's a weekend match for Milan, Martino, Puccio, Matt Santangelo. Started a little bit later than 5 because Santangelo's new job is a lot of work. So he's here on time. Good to go. First early game of the season tomorrow.
Yeah, I kind of like it better this way from a planning standpoint for the weekend, right? But overall, I think there's a bit of nervy vibes around these early games for Milan, right? I mean, it's not the 6 o'clock game. The 6 o'clock slot for the East Coast is always just kind of abysmal for us. And we just tend to not get good results then.
I think there's no more of those anymore, right?
Yeah,
got rid of them?
I think last year the goal that Ibrahimovic scored, like that kind of bicycle kick goal,
Udinese,
that was the 6 a.m. So it was worth
6:30
it.
against Udinese,
But
yeah.
the days of the Benevento and Brignoli scoring a header, the goalkeeper, to tie Milan.
They didn't get rid of them, actually. Juve
Oh,
plays Sampdoria on Sunday at 6:30 in the morning, but
I'm
still.
waking up for that.
Why would I? Who gives a shit about them?
You'll be sleeping.
I don't care. I'll be snoozing. They got a lot of rotation going on in that one. They're saying Rugani might start, so that's interesting.
And Dishio, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's always one. Milan, what's going on? Actually, before we even get into Milan Spezia, you weren't able to get on and discuss this, as we mentioned, because it was pretty obvious with the job stuff. Yeah. So, hey, Nate, what's going on, brother? How you doing? Yeah, so this one, we kind of want to get your thoughts on it because it would be fair because you weren't able to last time. We have Martino, you have been around Matt too long. His lateness is rubbing off on you. It's not rubbing off on me. I'm on time all the time because I'm the one who starts. So, yeah, 2-0. This one was kind of slight PTSD. I felt all right for most of the match. I wasn't on edge, honestly. The second the subs were kind of rolling around, or just even prior to the subs, I was like, I have a good feeling that they'll crack this and they'll get the 3 points. Because they know it's unacceptable to drop 3 points against a side like this at home. Not 18 minutes late at all. You're late. We started 5:15, Admiral. So yeah, you tell me, man. Were you nervous at all throughout this match? Was there anything you thought? You were texting me on the side. I don't always answer texts during games, but you're like on the side. I kind of felt like it was going to be this sit back kind of match where Venezia just tries to go on the counter, which they kind of tried to do, but they had no luck in general.
Yeah, I mean, I predicted 2-0. I predicted Leao and Brahim goals. But the way the game kind of flowed, I didn't think it was going to be something as simple as Milan just peppering Venezia with chances and then eventually they just kind of run away with it. That's just kind of still not Milan's way of doing things. I know they had that big, heavy victory over Cagliari early on in the season, but against some of these teams, they're typically a little bit more reserved and they try and see things out. I thought Venezia, for decent parts of this match, were very compact, organized, and I thought they played a pretty good game considering the talent levels, right? I think that's something you have to consider here. This is a very young team. There's a couple players that are veterans, but overall, they're pretty young. Busio's young, Tessman's young. So you look up and down the squad, you didn't think they were going to necessarily create a ton of chances on the counter, but the way it progressed was, in a way, a good thing for Milan, right? For fans and the club in general, because they were able to give enough faith and trust in the reserves to let them see if they can decide the game and without needing so much of the help off the bench.
There were some so-so chances.
No. They created some chances. I know Florenzi had an opportunity. Rebic had a couple chances that I think he probably would have won back.
I mean, the Tonali cross was just phenomenal. And a lot of people just really kind of – because they were more looking on the frustrating side of things because there was no end product there. Rebic simply gets on the ball better like he did against Juve. That's a goal. Phenomenal cross to just find him.
Benacer was great. I thought overall, it was only a matter of time until Milan actually broke through and got a couple goals. There you go. Yeah, I know that.
Omar, yeah.
I know that is. Shout out Omar. But yeah, overall, I think it was pretty solid. It was more of a patient thing, right? There really wasn't so much of a panic from Milan, which is something you would see in years past, right? You kind of wait, you feel like when's that goal going to coming, and sure enough, it never comes, and it's like a disappointing draw, and you look back at this as points dropped. But I think the fact that you can bring in the players that they did, like Salamakers comes in, makes a big impact. You have obviously Teo Hernandez comes in, makes a big impact, gets a goal and assist, and great goal from Brahim. Those two players always seem to be on that same wavelength, the great harmony between them two. So yeah, overall 2-0, it's a good result. You'll take it. Obviously, it's expected. It was a good opportunity to see some of these players like Ballatore, who I thought played pretty well. And yeah, back to Benacer real quickly, and even in Gabia, right? Getting these players to come in and you have that opportunity. Right now, the pecking order in the midfield for me is Tonali, Benacer. Those are the two guys that I feel confident in.
Yep.
And it's nice to see a guy like Gabia get that rotation, and I thought he looked okay. I didn't think he did anything spectacular, but given the circumstances, given the fact that he hasn't played much of late, for him to come in and just kind of have a more like steady professional outing, really wasn't put in difficult positions, but was important. And of course, one more tip of the cap, Mike Maignan, another clean sheet. I think it's 2 goals conceded in the 5 games. I think it's 2 in Milan's last 10, because I think they had 5 clean sheets off the back end of last season. So Milan are a good defensive side.
The only other goal I think that they were conceding at that point, trying to remember exactly. It could have been the Lazio game, honestly. And especially that was the last game that they allowed 2 or more goals in a match. That wasn't outside of Serie A. So they're doing well with that. Yeah, I'm just I wasn't too upset with any of the choices. I think all the choices made sense. I think people need to understand you need to rest some players. Teo Hernandez didn't play as much, so it's a good thing that he's more likely going to start tomorrow. Leao's finally probably looking like to get his first break. I thought he was great dribbling, created one good chance that Florenzi couldn't get the end of. But overall, his work rate is clearly much better. His tackles have increased as opposed to last season. He's a little bit he's doing better pressing wise. Alexis Salamaker's coming on. Basically, I mean, looking like prime Tarapt, really, honestly, with the way he was dribbling past everyone. Caldara being
that's what we need to see from
victims.
him, right? like that a player that when you see him in moments and in space, he has a good work rate. He has pretty good feet. Like, he's good on the ball. It's just when he gets into the final third, he's
not a great passer. His pass was nothing extraordinary. The vision was good, but like his technique is not. It's subpar. It's subpar for a guy of his level. But his dribbling was good. And then again, Matt, this is kind of what I was saying with Sabrina too. What after the match, you need guys like that to step up and have really good games against teams like Venezia. That's the progress we need to see moving forward. If you're so last season, that's one thing. I can kind of accept it and deal with it. But if it's during this season where you need players to make a leap and Alexis makes that type of impact off the bench, then you're very happy with the progress.
Second full season now. This is his second full season. Now it's time to grow, and now there's accountability. You're starting for Milan. You're a starter for Belgium. You need to show that you can do a little bit extra. I'm not asking you to be a world beater, but progress, growth in your game overall.
Yeah. I'm not sure if anyone else really kind of expected too much out of that game, but I mean, again, it was just you got the 3 points. Yeah, I think people were just freaking out because we're not ripping teams 5-6 nothing. It's just silly. Omar wants to know about, so we'll just move on to the Spezia game tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is our time over here. They gave Juve a hell of a game, but they're on a shortened week too. Milan has more rotation. Spezia is going to be hurting like that, especially with a younger squad, inexperienced. Milan going on the road. They lost last time to them. With this, I think personally that I'm fine with the lineup that's coming out there again. Like, so many people are getting so stupid about
very overdramatic, but that's just Milan. That's just Milan fans.
We can't do this, we can't do that. These players aren't adequate enough. No, they are. They're plenty good. And constantly, how many times do we have to see these geniuses rip Pioli for every single rotation like we're not talking about Mate as the number 10 here. We're talking about resting Leao. We're talking about resting Tonali, if that's the case. We're talking about resting Brahim Diaz. We're not saying that like, hey, wow, this is like the clear tactical choice because he's trying to be smart here. No, it's about rest. How many times you people want to complain about injuries, and then at the same time when they try and go rest players, it's an issue with you? Pick one. Make up your mind. You can't have your cake and eat it too, as the saying goes, right? You can't complain about everything. So yeah, personally, I'm fine with this. Daniele Maldini is the one being tipped to start. Didn't feature in the game on the other day, which was Wednesday, which was interesting to me, right? Because we talked about this. We're like, oh, like, you know, if we see him getting minutes in this, if he got in against Liverpool and Juve, surely he's going to get in versus Venezia. He didn't, probably because of this, to give him the best possible amount of minutes to be ready against a side like this in Spezia. Not the easiest of places to debut your first start for Milan in a real competition, an official one. I'm personally excited. This is the first Maldini starting since his father's last game. Think about that. Yeah. Think about that. No Admiral, no markers yet. I'm genuinely fascinated by this because everyone is, you know, and there's more pressure on him now because these people still don't understand loaning Pobega, loaning Colombo, and I forget who the other loanee that they're complaining about now. But the thing is that they're like, oh, Maldini's getting minutes now. Oh, like Paolo Maldini has to allow his son to be on the squad now. Yeah, listen. At the end of the day, they all aren't going to do this because of nepotism. We haven't seen anything, and I say this 5 billion times. You say it as well. We don't know what he is yet.
Right.
We genuinely don't. And whatever you could do with the Primavera is one thing. Who knows what type of player he is the second he steps onto the field? Everyone thought Gabbia was a no-name. Gabbia has been an adequate squad player.
Right.
Right?
Good fourth defender.
Dude, he played fine in that one. And even last year when he was asked to step up prior to his injury, he was playing fine and developing. Considering his age at that position, guys aren't that well developed like that. Oh, and by the way, Maldini's still a teenager. He's a kid. It wasn't too long ago when we were looking at him slide tackling Seedorf on the field after a match, right? Yeah. So this is that kid. In general, as a fan of the club, I think it's really cool to see. Same. I think it's awesome that it's going to happen. And there's a lot of kids out there, Matt, you know, including Saj, if Saj is watching, Saturnian, that didn't really get to see Maldini play, Maldini play for Milan. It's totally different vibe. It's, I don't know, it just feels right. And I'll say this, we got to give him a chance, and we can't harp on him too much, even if he does struggle. This isn't the easiest of games. This is still Serie A. He's still a teenager. Regardless of name, he's probably not going to dominate. Just need to see the little things. We need to see confidence. We need to see him, you know, maybe create from time to time. Good work rate. He's a real fine tackler, by the way. We've seen it on multiple occasions, actually. Not the Seedorf video. Like, actually in games, you could see him do it.
He's a big kid too, in terms of like length. Like he's not like a short.
People forget how athletic.
He's got some pretty decent size to him, and I think so.
Yeah, go for it.
You know, look, I think at the end of the day, I don't think Pioli's sitting here and you have Maldini in his ear saying, "You better start my boy." You know, like one of those like soccer dads, chirping at the coach, and like that we see all across here in the United States when it comes to rec leagues and all that stuff. Like, they understand this is top flight football. So I don't think this is necessarily something to base off of just having, my dad's the director, so I'm getting minutes, right? And what I do want to see from Maldini, though, you just kind of referenced it here. I want to see a player that yes, understands the situation he's in. He's not going to be, afraid of the sort of opportunity and the pressure that comes with, being a starter in a starting for Milan with that name. But I want to see in that position, it's one position you can't specifically be too reserved, right? Like, you can't be kind of carried through a match, if you understand what I'm saying. Yes, certain players can stand out more and do the job, and I get that, but you're in an attacking midfield position, so you have to have your presence felt in that one. Otherwise,
have to,
Milan are
yeah.
going to have some difficulty creating chances because he's occupying the same
And
role.
especially if you're not going to have a legitimate striker for 90 minutes.
Right.
So
He's
then
gonna have to do a lot.
the center of the field is an inexperienced
Yeah.
teenager, and then someone who's playing out of position.
Yeah.
Whether or not it's not official on who's yet. Joey asked about Giroud. Giroud should be ready, but he's not going to play 90 minutes. He should be featured on the bench. Florenzi is someone who's not going to be on the bench, but yes, Calabria as well. Kalulu should start in this.
Yep.
I think it's obvious. There's no reason to risk Calabria. You have him ready for Atletico Madrid.
Yeah.
That's the real match. Another high developmental game for Kalulu on top of the fact that he is playing well, and he's earned it. Honestly, like if Calabria isn't 100% yet, if he's just coming off an injury, no reason to risk it. The kid's playing well in Kalulu. Let him play. This is exactly why you have someone like this that's that talented.
And Maldini too, like my last point on Maldini, because he's occupying such a key role. I think in this sort of match, you want to see him taking risks. You don't want to see him being so reserved and fearful of a mistake. I want to see him attempt those balls into space. You'll let Leao run on the end of it, build that confidence. Because if he's able to get those balls deep and pass them and spray around the field, that's all he needs to do. But I think he can't be one of those players that thinks he's going to step into this position. The other boys are going to carry him around because they're more experienced. So if I'm given an expectation, I think that can Maldini turn in like a 6.5 performance? I think he can.
6.5 is exceptional.
It's more than fine for someone making his starting first Serie A start.
His father's
what I want to see.
Arguably the best player this country's ever produced, and like the best player the league's ever seen. Dude, his father's the greatest defender of all time. He's one of the 15 most important footballers to ever live. There's a lot of pressure. You're playing for the club. You know what I mean? Like, his brother couldn't make it. He wasn't good enough, Christian. That like, come on now. And everyone should be rooting for him. If you got your stupid, idiotic troll agenda, that's one thing.
That's just selfish.
Let's just see what happens. Yeah. Let's just see what happens, man. And Leao's been someone who said on an interview in seriousness saying, like, talent-wise, Daniele Maldini's there. Just thinking at the back of my head, like, yo, like, if Daniele Maldini could be half as good as his position, like his father was,
you have a starting
like,
player,
do you know what we have there?
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. God willing, we don't know, but we got to see what happens.
Yeah.
So Teo starting, I think, is fine with me. I think that Torre should eventually take it over when the match, and if the match is in good hands. Maybe even also sub out Tomori. Kier's not going to be there. He's going to be ready for Atletico, apparently. Still fine with Tomori, Romagnoli, Capitano. For now. Good for him. Playing well, man. Playing well. And he's been really solid. Rarely any mistakes. He's got those prime slide tackles now that we used to see when he was like a little bit younger. And we were like, oh my God, this reminds me of Nesta. With the slide tackles, number 13, the hair being a lot.
It feels like he pulls off one of them every game. It seems like.
I feel like he's healthier now that he could sprint, slide, get to that spot.
Well, last year he came out in the season. Last year he didn't start. I don't think in the game against the first derby against Inter. Right, I don't think he started in that.
He did. That was the thing.
But he
came back from the calf injury and he was thrusted into the lineup.
That's right. Yeah.
Gabia was hurt.
Yeah.
Gabia got COVID.
The second derby he got cooked, but
he was never fully healthy.
The last season was about him trying to find form and fitness, and it was obvious, towards the back end of the season, he kind of seemed like he was finally getting to that level again. But good for him, right? I mean, we don't know what his situation is going to look like beyond this year, but how fitting, right? This happens all the time in sports, like a walk year. There's so much kind of, attention around whether or not you're going to sign a new deal or you're going to go to Juve, Barcelona, name the team, whatever, maybe Lazio, who could be in position for him as well. And he's playing well. Like, he's justifying why he deserves a new deal and a good wage. At the very least, I will say this, the difference between him and Donnarumma in these two situations over the years, it never felt like Romagnoli was kind of his name was always kind of circulating ahead of big games, and that was always a talking point, right? Like, it feels as though that regardless of where his mind is at beyond the season, he's playing like a captain. He's playing like someone who deserves to play here and to be a key member.
Can I just say, I've said this and I still think this, and I don't care if people disagree with me, and I understand the wages situation, right? It's a mistake to let him leave.
Yeah.
It's a mistake. It's a mistake. Not forget about getting money back from a sale. It's a mistake if he leaves. It's a mistake. Like, we can't allow him to go to another Italian team, because that's what it's going to come down to, right? If Juve maybe pay 6.5, 7 million for that, they're already paying Rabiot that amount of money. They got wages coming off the books. You don't think Mino has a good relationship with Agnelli? Come on now. He'd gladly take his client over to Juve. Alessio would easily go over there.
Yeah.
Extend him. Make it a short-term extension. I'm not asking anything crazy here. If Ibra's money's coming off the books and Kessie, they figure that out and get it renewed, which I kind of think that's going to happen. I'm like 55 to 60% sure that's going to happen, which isn't obviously confident, but still, I think it's more than likely to happen than not. Like, you can't allow this. I think he's too important. Kier, he's got another year on an extension. We see how often he gets injured and gets tired. You have Gabbia. I mean, listen, I like Gabbia eventually as like someone who you'd rotate and kind of trust him in some Serie A matches every now and then when you're playing midweek for Champions League matches. But I'm telling you right now, it's a damn mistake to let this guy leave. He's 26. He's going to be entering his prime soon. Like this, it doesn't make sense. And I'll be honest with you, again, it's another victim of the Mirabelli thing, where they increase and the salary increase over the course of a couple years has doomed this club. Because they're put into this situation where, like, yes, obviously Romagnoli is good. We know he's better than what he's shown. Is he quite worth $6.5 million net right now? No, probably not. But also, is he worth losing over that? What type of player are you going to get in for these wages? And a fee. So then you got to spend another fee on another center back, Matt, instead of adding to a potential right wing position, right? It's a mistake, man. We need him. I think it's stupid to get rid of him.
It's also the experience of playing at this club, right? Like, I think I remember this was maybe sometime in May. I tweeted something out, and I think there was a lot of people who were at the end of the season. They got Tomori was pretty much confirmed at that point. Simon Kjaer, obviously, he cemented himself as a starter. That's obvious. People were kind of talking down on Romagnoli because of the season he had previously. And I was like, how quickly people forget that Milan brought this kid in at 21 or 20 off a big fee. He was captain, was playing alongside some truly horrific defenders. And
horrendous defenders, horrendous midfield in front of him. Overall.
And he held himself like a true professional, like a true captain. And now he finally has the opportunity to play along some serious players and in the Champions League to get that opportunity. That's a player I want to keep. Honestly, I truly do want to keep Romagnoli because whether or not he leaves is one thing, but he's handled himself. It doesn't seem so scummy. I'm not saying that's how the Donnarumma situation was. He's not. But it doesn't feel like he's kind of squeezing Milan for money, right? It doesn't feel like he's kind of going to be that. It's going to be that sort of case if he does leave for free.
I don't think that's the case. I think what it was shit negotiations from a terrible director that has lingered once again and put this club in a difficult position to say, okay, like when you're extending someone's contract, perfect example, right? Like when you're extending someone's contract, you always take in what's their age, what's their performance level for the future, and how much are they asking for. Romagnoli is currently getting paid $6.5 million net, right? So the guy had a poor season, has 1 year left on his contract. Milan are in a position where they can't really afford to spend too much money. Are you going to offer him the same amount of money for a new contract? That's not a pay increase for a guy entering his prime. That's not fair to Romagnoli, right? But it's also not fair to Maldini and the management for having to pay more for a player who, in reality, he's not worth $7 million net per season. No. He's not that good, okay? Do I think he's at his best worth like $4.5 to $5 million at most net? I'd give you that if he has a great season, and especially if he continues to grow as a player because you get wiser. You just look around, and I just don't understand how it's Milan getting put into these positions where they have to pay these players this. Like Nicolo Barella is getting $4.5 million net.
Yeah.
How is this possible that we're sitting here again with this club that they're being forced to paying these defenders this amount of money? And by the way, Mino Raiola's at the head of these negotiations. You can easily take them to a Barca.
It's a Mino thing. I mean, you can see the same thing with Kessié, but I don't know. I mean, it's kind of really difficult to say, right? It's you on one end, you see Davide Calabria committing to the club and signing a new deal, gets paid more on that new deal, has captained the club several times, is a Milan graduate.
Slight pay increase, nothing dramatic.
But it's for whatever reason, I think it's really hard to put my finger on it, because I'm not saying that Milan, like when people have this perception that Milan doesn't have money, they're like, oh, we're broke and we're penny pinching, we're being stingy when it comes to negotiations for players. That's getting the approval from the higher ups, right? Like if you're working for a company, we're not going to just sign off on something without getting the approval from those who write the checks, right? That they're in charge of the money. So when people say that, you think if you ask Maldini, do you want to keep Romagnoli? Of course. Look at him. He's a good player. He's been here. Absolutely. Kessié, you want to keep him? Of course. They wanted to keep Donnarumma. But there's levels to this. And it's money. It's a money. It's the days of he's passionate, he's loyal, he's kissing the badge. Having that sort of tie to the club, and that means he's staying, are over. I think that it's more of a money thing. If, to your point, Ibrahimovic comes off the books, and they get another year of Champions League, I don't see how they can rationalize not getting extensions done for Romagnoli and Kessié.
I'm not even talking about a 5-year extension.
Hold on, just let me finish here. Back-to-back Champions Leagues. How could you not keep top players? Our finances are good. We're not having losses like Juve are. We're not in the position that Inter are in. So why can't we keep good players? If we can get back-to-back Champions League, top 4 finishes consistently, have good, healthy books, there shouldn't be an issue with that. So I don't know why people are looking directly at Maldini as the guy that's losing these players for free.
No. The Kessié one, I think it's inexcusable, but I get what you're saying.
I agree, it's inexcusable to lose them.
I think January, if Kessié doesn't sign the extension by then, you sell him.
Yeah.
I have nothing else to say about that one. But the Romagnoli, like, come on, like we're sitting here trying to say, why can't we get a 2-year extension done at the very least? You're telling me he won't accept, like, say, give him $500K increase just for another year. And also at the same time, I know they have to deal with FFP and UEFA with this. This is also why they requested an extra year to try and balance the books to get to net zero because of the pandemic. Because Milan would have been fine by then. We've seen the figures come out. We've seen Scaloni talk about it recently. They need money from people coming into the stadium. 50% is not going to do it. It's not going to make up for it. There's Champions League nights where they need 100% capacity. All these other top cities and countries around the world are having 100% capacity at this point. Just do it. If a lot of people are vaccinated, like, come at your own risk or show proof of vaccination. Get a rapid test before coming in. There's plenty of things and proof, even over here. We see it in Pennsylvania, right? Perfect example. I don't know if you watched the Penn State-Auburn game, college football, just in case no one knows about that over here. Around 90,000 people filled up into the stadium. We're talking about a whiteout, and we're talking about 2021 in September. This happened, September 18th, right? Last Saturday. Why can't we get 60,000 at San Siro? We could get to 100% capacity. Like, it benefits everybody at the end of the day with this. At the end of the day.
Well, yeah, but Italy always has red tape when it comes to this stuff. You and I know
they're goddamn morons. But speaking of Italy and all this stuff, they found the fan that racially abused Mike Maignan. He is banned. The funniest part about all of this, Matt, his excuse. Yeah. Did you see what his excuse was?
He was drunk.
Apparently, you see, look, these idiots just doing that. Saj, and I don't know. Is that John? Gio? Is that you? I'll say this. When I drink and get drunk, I accidentally start copying people's accents. That's the worst thing I do. I don't turn into a racist. I won't start calling him, all these names, right? There's no reason to repeat any of them, obviously. Like, that's the excuse there's no excuse for it. You shut your mouth, you apologize, and you accept the lifetime ban. And he also got kicked out of his local club, too, that he was playing for their team.
Good.
So, yeah, I mean, I thought that was positive news. So, all the other stuff with Spezia, there's too many damn differentiating lineups that I keep seeing.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, I can't really trust much. I think it should be Kessie Benacer double pivot, by the way. I think that's the way to go. I think Tonali needs his rest.
That's fair. I mean, that's the beauty about having options, right? That you can take out Tonali. I know I just said off the top that I prefer Tonali Benacer right now. If I had like a power ranking of Milan midfielders, those two would be at the top. But I think in a match like this, I'm not going to sit here and nitpick and micromanage what Pioli does. I mean, I'm not going to be up in arms if it's Benacer Tonali. I'm not going to be up in arms if it's Kessie Tonali. I'm not going to be up in arms if it's Benacer Kessie. They're all good midfielders. They should all be able to do the job against Spezia. So back to your point, I don't understand why people are so emotional about every single decision that Pioli does or makes. Every single one. It could be, he didn't bring in Brahim in the 60th. He should have brought him in the 61st or the 55th. Yeah. It's like, has the guy not done enough with the squad to at least have some sort of trust that he knows what he's doing? I'm honestly asking this question because I see it all the time. He pushed the right buttons in the last game that you just mentioned, right? The subs were on time and they were impactful and they were the right ones. And he rotates most likely for the game on the weekend here. And then what are people back doing? Complaining and arguing and he don't know what he's doing. It's just tiring. It's tiring being a Milan fan, even in the Champions League. It's tiring.
There it is. The fan base is just dumb.
Just tiring.
I mean, what can you say? I don't know. They're just stupid, man. It's like the general public is just stupid, and you see it every day. So I interact with people less and less. I'm doing a little bit better. About it.
Good.
Being a little bit better about responding to trolls. Yes. I think the changes he has made for this match. Yeah, listen. Fine. I think the only main thing that people were freaking out about, Omar included, was Torre at left wing. Yeah, I kind of get it, but what are we gonna do? I'm just surprised there weren't as many people freaking out. This is why you keep Haug, bro, for that match.
Oh, you know what? No, because you know what it is. After Haug scored 2 goals, a tap in, and then a consolation goal in a heavy defeat, no one cares now.
I'm kidding, Omar. You didn't freak out.
No one talks about Hauger, right? That's all I saw the first when Hauger scored the goal. A tap in, Maldini shouldn't have sold him. But now when he's quiet and he ain't doing anything for Frankfurt, no one says anything. Funny, right? Funny. It's just funny how things work.
Because they don't watch the match. It's easy to just no one watches Bundesliga. You know who watches Bundesliga? State of Play podcast. They do that.
Yeah, we do.
They watch top 5 leagues. I don't watch MLS.
Well, hey, listen. You know what's funny about that, real quick? Just not to go on too much of a tangent here. I was having a conversation with a Benfica fan, catching up with an old friend, right?
Cristiano? Or?
No. He's from my area, whatever. But he's classic guy. Goes to Newark. Goes to the matches to, whatever. Mm-hmm. He was telling me, he goes, well, what do you cover on this podcast? I go, Europe's top 5 plus MLS, and he goes, do you cover, the Portuguese first division? And I go, well, no. He goes, well, they're ahead of Ligue 1, so why wouldn't you cover them now? So it kind of got me thinking, maybe we have to, because now, technically speaking,
well, also, France jumped back in the top 5. So
okay, well, back and forth. Maybe we got to consider at least covering
Lucas
a little
Hernandez.
bit. Yeah.
No, listen. And first of all, you should have just told him we had Cristiano Oliveira on there.
Oh no, I did. He knows.
And we talked about them, and we're going to have a Porto fan on here as soon as we can prior to the match in the Champions League. We're gonna figure it out who we can get. That's right, you guys. Hauga has disappeared. Everyone's just talking about Hauga.
Come on, man.
Yeah, well, anyways, away from the state of play. So, like, tomorrow, what kind of match are you expecting for Spezia? I think the important thing is, and a silver lining to take away from last year's loss against Spezia is this. Even though it's a totally different situation from when we were facing Spezia this like last season away, this is the important thing. They know they're not slouches. They're not going to let their guard down away now. They're going to give it to them, and they're going to give them their best effort. And this team is something that has kind of earned our trust. Yeah. Oh, funny enough, Chillis, this guy wanted to talk about that on the most recent episode.
I did.
About Ricardo Pepi. I forget if it was El Salvador, I believe, is where he made his impact with the U.S. men's national team. Yeah, Paqueta. Did you see Paqueta got a yellow for doing a rainbow flick? Did you see that? Did anyone else see that in chat? Unbelievable.
He's looked nice, man.
And I always liked him, but a bad fit.
I know. I'm just saying I knew it was coming. People thought he was a shit footballer, and he was
I never thought, yeah.
I'm like, I'm not going to judge him off Marco Giampaolo. Come on.
The guy shattered.
Three coaches in about a year and change.
Why Milan Globe? Because they are P words. That's why.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say the word on here, but they're P words. Paqueta's Ligue Dax. Hey, you know what? If we could...
He starts for Brazil, and he plays good for Brazil.
Hilarious assist for Yassine Adli, by the way.
1-2.
But if you saw the whole goal, Yassine had everything to do with the build-up for it.
Yeah.
The finish was just phenomenal, and I kind of understand why it's just kind of fallen to a weird category there at the end. But yeah,
10 million. Why don't we give him Paul Maldini credit for that?
So yeah, so players getting upset. Okay, so you asked me this. Everyone in chat, I want your answers. Someone does a rainbow flick on you in a match. Do you get and someone showed the clip between, I think it was Bilbao or Atletico. I think it was Atletico Bilbao when Neymar was still there with Barcelona, one of his early years with Barca. He does a rainbow flick over him. It's kind of like the 80-something minute. The game's 3-1 in Barcelona's favor, and he goes for the rainbow flick, and they shove him down, and then all the other Atletico players come over and they try like fight him, getting angry at him. You're a bunch of bums, bro. You don't like what he's doing? Stop him.
Yeah.
If you can't stop him, shut your mouth.
Yeah.
Shut your mouth and keep moving. Because then you just look you look like your ego is fragile.
It's not like he taunted him though. Like it's not like he like, you know how in certain sports you'll cross someone up, or like baseball if you had a homer and you stare at it. He wasn't taunting him. It was just, this is
you got dusted.
This is my best way of getting by you.
Past you.
And for a lot of these players, that's just kind of the way they played in the streets back home when they were kids, and that to me could be in the street. They could be on a football pitch. That's just the way they play.
Gets mad at herself because she's logical. Who else? So what's everyone's initial reaction? I'm similar to Super. I wouldn't even be mad. I'd just be more embarrassed.
Yeah.
But honestly, getting dribble past in this sport is a lot more acceptable than getting crossed up in basketball. Getting crossed up in basketball,
it's like a huge thing.
Getting crossed up in basketball is by far the most humiliating thing that could happen to you. That happens to like kind of the average-ish basketball players, because not an average basketball player dunks.
Or getting stiff-armed in football, like in the face, and getting
but those are like two different, like, you know what I mean? Like anybody can cross anyone or have good handles in basketball, right? Not everyone can dunk on somebody. Not everyone's strong enough to stiff-arm someone, and not a lot of people play like tackle football. So but yeah, just stop them.
Stop.
Admiral. I'm not sharing that. Remember these kids twice in pro clubs the other day, and they got 3 red cards after. That's my cut this joke. He was one of the top FIFA. Joe, what FIFA were you one of the top players in North America? He was one of like the top 100 players in North America for like a FIFA in the late 2000s. It's ridiculous. Yeah, he signed with Bordeaux. Yeah, he's with Adley. I saw that. Oh, the half-line comment? Pioli's an idiot for that. There's just no other way about it.
Yeah, that's kind of like, come on.
Man, I said this. He wants a backcourt violation after Gigio leaves.
Yeah.
Then we would have been okay.
You know what was the weirdest like rule of the past was how like you can if obviously like if you're in your own end and you kick it back to your goalkeeper and he could just pick it up again.
This is legit.
That was the weirdest. You remember those rules?
Yeah,
like you remember like it just
yeah.
It would just be, okay, he clears it out. Let me just kick it back to him and he catches it and resets.
Well, that was a good rule change. I don't think The only ever rule that I would change for this sport that I always found stupid, in my opinion, was that if you're offside, right, you're past the last defenders.
Yeah.
And you come back to the ball on sides, you're offsides. I don't think that should be a thing. I don't think it should be a thing.
I can see where, like, if you have to come back, yeah.
Where's
you're not really getting an advantage.
That's what I'm saying. The only time you're at an advantage is if you quick play the ball. Like we do a 1-2.
But that's a case-by-case thing, though, because let's say, for example, the guy has to come back, and he comes back and gets the ball, and he's able to quickly get a pass into space behind. Like, that's still the advantage, because he's an offside. You're allowing him the opportunity to get that ball back, and now you're creating another opportunity. But I understand what you're saying. Like, if you have, like, a guy comes back, and there's nothing happening behind him, then what's the harm? Like, I understand what you're saying, but I don't hate the offside rule. I
agree with. This I 100% agree with. This would be awesome.
I don't mind that either.
Just like free throws in basketball. Why? Because you know what? You know why?
They hack the same person.
You want to know why a lot of people don't want to do it? You want to know why? Right now? Why? Why do you think I think a lot of people don't want it to change? There's one reason. His name is Cristiano Ronaldo, and his fans have a fragile ego about this guy. The amount of penalties that this man bagged. Okay? Please. I won't go any further. Tonali covered 11 kilometers against Venezia, and some delusions are saying, well, listen, the Cristante crowd is very quiet. Thank you, CK. CK knew immediately who I was talking about. It's just a little delayed with the feed. See, Lord coming in with Cristiano as well. Everyone knows it. Santangelo doesn't. You should know me well enough by now who I was talking about.
No, I know, but I thought you were going to actually have, like, I just didn't. I don't know. It's been a long day, man. Maybe.
Well, it's just not even just him. He's the prime example of it, where these guys are bagging penalties, and even I see it with Immobile. Immobile didn't even pick up the foul yesterday. They were playing very poorly against Torino. The guy goes in, grabs a goal. It's 1-1.
Also,
like, how about that now? What about national team?
Also, you know what's funny? Want to hear something funny too? On penalties, how many have Milan gotten? Lazio, Immobile gets a penalty every.
I think we just got the one. It was just against Cagliari. No,
two. And we're winning games too, right? Like, we're not winning because of the penalties.
Because he hit the crossbar. Yeah. No, I know.
Right. We should look at Lazio, because it seems as though that Immobile buries a penalty every game.
What does he have? 2 or 3 penalties so far?
Something like that. I'm telling you, I'm like, Lazio gets a penalty every game. I'm not saying there's a thing here.
It's straight up. No, I get what you're saying.
Like, come on. No one says anything about Lazio, because Lazio aren't top of the table or near the top of the table. If they were, people should start saying, well, Lazio are getting penalties and that's why they're in first. But Milan get one, and they're just good enough to be where they are, and no one backtracks and says, they're a good team.
So I tweeted this yesterday. I go, okay, Milan gained 2 points on Lazio. It was pretty much a positive for that, right? And friend Jerry Mancini goes, oh, you're worried about Lazio, man? I was reserved. I didn't reply to him. I have his standing predictions for Serie A. I'll just tell you what, Milan were below Lazio on that. So I'm just quiet. Jerry, that's all I got to say. I got nothing. Just a thumbs up for you, buddy. Remember last year? Yeah, we only did well because of penalties, Sabrina. Yeah, absolutely. Sarri is moving sus. Sarri was suspended for that game because of the Salamakers thing. Oh, fantastic. They blew it. But again, one of the teams. Matt, we talked about this. Ivan Juric. Oh, Pobega. How about we talk about Pobega? Pobega played well yesterday, man. How much of the game did you catch that? I did.
Not much. Someone actually, I think, what is it, AC Milan
comps? AC comps, the usual boys. Yeah, they posted it. He played well, man.
He looks good, man. He looks good.
Great coach for him to develop in. And people are like, oh, we could have used Pobega. Maybe so. But this is invaluable, what we're getting right now.
Starting for Torino, and Torino are playing really well this year. Like, this is the Torino we saw a couple years ago, where they were kind of in that Europa League conversation. Get a good coach. They have some good players in that squad. And that's why I remember telling you about this. I know you said, we would have liked to have kept Pobega, and initially fine, but in this squad, look at the midfielders we have. He wouldn't play that much. He's starting every week for Torino.
Would have been stagnating his growth. One thing, Saj wants to know what our thoughts are on the Curva Sud commenting on Hakan. He made a picture comment. So wait, oops. There we go. Ready?
What was I don't know I don't know.
So this is Alex Bregman context.
I know that.
Right? No, well, I'm giving context to everybody.
Sorry.
You don't know. Come on. I know you know who he is. Come on. Alex Bregman is a part of the Houston Astros. It's a baseball team. They're the equivalent of Juve currently. Got caught in a cheating scandal. They ended up winning the title. And then there was a whole scandal that they knew everything prior during a match. And basically when all the fans started coming back in after COVID, this is what happened. And this is what one of the fans did to one of the best players. So imagine Buffon about to take a picture with a fan after Calciopoli. This is what happened.
I don't think they could hear audio. I can't hear audio.
Oh, well, anyways, what he's saying in the audio, I'm sorry if you guys couldn't hear it. He just keeps on saying, I don't want a photo with you. If you want to go on my thing.
It's pretty funny.
Hakan's comments, though, to Saj's point. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Dude, like, whatever. Like,
we have a better number 10 who's producing much more than you are.
Already, like.
And even Inter fans are starting to see that, maybe not writing him off, but they're starting to see, like, this.
He's producing at the current. He's producing at the current moment. The thing, Saj, are people like us, right? We genuinely don't give a damn about Hakan. There's still a lot of Milan fans that talk about him too much, and it's cool to get the joke, but like we got to do it after every Inter game, man. It's exhausting. Omar,
it's especially like annoying too because the guy we have is just better, and he's playing better. Like.
Sergio.
We upgraded. What? Who cares?
I don't give a damn, bro.
It's like if you're in a relationship and you break up, or your ex leaves you, and then you get someone better, and you're complaining about them. It's like I upgraded.
RJ being the Milan fans in question.
Like
RJ and Omar at the forefront of it all. But like I said, those two have to protect the brand, but the average fans probably got to cool out. And Sabrina made a good point today too on Twitter. She's like, yeah, you love Hakan loves the fan base, but he's blocked all of them. Like, what's the deal here? Even if he hasn't, dude, he was blocking people for not even saying bad things. He was just like Hakan, Milan,
emotionally fragile, like.
And that's why he couldn't last at a club like this. And that's why he could listen. I'm not saying like Inter's not a big club. They are a big club. Don't get me wrong. Not bigger than Milan. That's just a fact. It's just not true.
But now it's you took our hand-me-downs. That's what you took. You took our trash.
They're still better than us right now. I'll give them that. They're still better than us.
Oh, yeah. But I'm player to player. Brahim's a better player. And he's playing better.
Absolutely. It's not even a question. Hakan's still producing well. And I said he was going to do well there. He will continue to do well. But he's not worth that money. He's not worth same salary as Barella.
No.
That's what he's getting right now. That's what he's getting paid more than Ciro Immobile is. Is he worth that? No, he's not. Yeah.
Nope.
Prediction time, because we're almost around 50 or so minutes into the podcast. Obviously, everyone knows now we are here on Twitch all the time. Can you try and get What Got You So Mad? I don't know if What Got You So Mad loves me, man. What got Tuso so mad?
I don't know if he does public appearances either.
I don't know if he does.
There's some people that just like have a presence, but they don't like to be on audio.
I'm not saying that he dislikes me, but I think he doesn't like seeing eye to eye with some of my opinions on stuff because he's one. Listen, I'm sure he's a nice guy, but he's a whiner. He's just a whiner about Milan. He's just one of those guys who loves to complain, and yeah. But as you know, we are here on Twitch all the time. If you don't follow us already. 630 followers, trying to get to 700 very soon and keep on climbing our way up. Gazeta's fan in here, Gaz likes me, but he won't admit it. But we're also on YouTube now. If you don't follow us on YouTube or subscribe to us on YouTube, this is live currently on YouTube as well. We have a couple people over there. Wedgie's on there. I saw your text, bro. How you doing? Good to see you check in. You do so much work for us. So does Connor. Appreciate Sabrina always coming on post-match. I'm actually going to be back tomorrow for post-match. So if we're able to do that, guys, if you guys want it, I will try and do a post-match review. Matt, if you're able to, I don't know if you're going to go golfing right after.
No golfing. I'll do it before
no golfing.
My workout,
okay. He's going to push his workout back for us. It's a big deal.
Look what I do for you guys.
Yeah. Show up half the time and push back workouts.
Oh, come on.
I'm kidding. I know. It's tough. But yeah, also the Twitter, the Periscope follows, like post-match reviews. It's on every platform that we have. That gets uploaded there. Check out the site, MilanReports.com. Follow the Twitter account at MilanReports.com. Go follow Matt on Twitter at Matt_Santangelo. As you've seen this whole time in the ticker, you follow me on Twitter at Martino Puccio. Very close to 3K. Could be able to get it tomorrow. Matt, Admiral wants to know if you watch the Ryder Cup.
I do when I do when I have the opportunity to. But yeah, I mean, watching golf.
Ryder Cup, isn't that with all the teams, like the countries, like USA plays like the other, right? Okay.
It's just, I don't know. I just taken a big liking to golf lately, and then watching it's calming, but it's also frustrating because they do things that I'm like, how does he do that? Because I play golf enough to know that's so hard to do.
One of the hardest sports in the world.
It's so hard.
It's up there. It's up there. They want us for you to shout us out on CNN. So I don't know what us means. But yeah.
Who was that?
I don't.
I mean, I tweeted that I was going on, but like
PM me, private message me on Twitter. I want to know who it is. I won't reveal the name. Because you definitely follow me on Twitter if you talk with me like this. Absolutely. Milan Globe, 2-0 Giroud Kalulu. 3-0 Dirty Dave doesn't have anything. Mark wants to know this. This is what I was laughing at just before. Will you go bald live on Twitch?
Bald, like no hat, like no cap? Or like
I think he's saying shave your head.
Oh, come on. Listen, I initially agreed to it, but it's one of those things where like that's too much for just one game.
Baldy, we said dye your hair a different color. That's what it was. We said if we qualified to the next round, you dye your hair. That's a totally fair thing. That's a
I know, but I gotta go to work. Like, what am I gonna come in with like blonde hair? Like,
so what? They can't judge you. Why would they judge you for that? It's not a fireable offense. You can do what you want with your hair.
Yeah,
Women change their hair color all the time. Why can't Matt Santangelo?
You know, like this is the first time I'm seeing these people.
Wait, when are you going to see these people?
Well, back to office is happening in a couple weeks. So like, hey, nice to meet you.
That would be later in. That'd be in December. That's when we decide. We know and find out.
No, he said Tuesday.
Ball. I know, but I'm talking about the other bet. The Tuesday.
Let me mull it over.
Meaning he just wants to take a decision and delay his no. 4-1 Milan. It's true. You're gonna say no. I'm right though. I'm right. You're not gonna do it. 4-1. Admiral says Pioli bald. Join the club. Bald is beautiful.
Hey,
Nate.
Go for it, man.
A promise is a promise. We all want it. Don't disappoint. Diet red and black, of course. Blonde is against company bonds.
Oh,
Martino.
You know what I'm gonna. This is what I'm gonna have as my
Admiral. I never agreed to that. You typed that in here, and I never said anything about that.
This is hold on. Not gonna dance. This is my mood. Hold on. Let me see if the photo actually pulls up here. You can keep reading them off.
Yeah, sure. 2-0 Maldini assist. I'll go with a prediction. I think 1-0 Milan. Giroud goal. I think it's going to be an annoying game, but I wouldn't be shocked if we create a lot of chances. They did not particularly play great defensively against Juve. Juve was really exposed for what they were. I think they'll be a little bit more tired. We put in an appropriate 11 tomorrow. I think it actually could get crazier than 1-0 for Milan, but I'm just being conservative.
This is
Admiral.
Me. What do you guys think about this?
All order markers. That the Crudelli like Afro wig. I like that. Here. Wait. Let me take my.
What I should do is I should actually, if we do like a recording, like a match recording around like Halloween, we should come on air with these on. That'd be funny.
Bro, I'm broke. I mean,
It's a wig. What does it cost? Yeah, come
I
on.
don't know. Milan have the best defense in the league. They actually kind of do. They do so far.
Yeah.
I will say Inter's is still the best unit for sure.
Yeah.
I think ours is as good, if not better, than Juve's.
Yeah.
I'll tell you damn straight. Over the course of 38 matches in a Serie A season, good luck, Chiellini. Can't do it. You already see it. Bonucci cooked, bro. That guy got cooked. Oh my god. No, you know the video of the guy.
Yeah.
I'm getting cooked out of here. That's it. Carlos puts it up. Recreate the Gasparini dance. No, I will only. How about this? I'll recreate the Gasparini dance on Twitch if Milan wins the league. I'll do that for you. Otherwise, I'm not doing that. If Chiellini doesn't stay fit, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I said it how many times, Matt? I say Juve are one situation away where Rugani starts to have is going to have to start games.
I'm waiting for the moment where where the graphic comes up and it's Rugani and Tishio starting in the Champions League again because of injuries.
Oh my god,
that's coming. It's coming.
If you had Juve or not, we talked about this on the State of Play podcast. So if you want to hear us kind of critiquing Juve to a further extent and level, you can go and listen to the latest State of Play podcast, episode 107, from the 90-minute Football Network that we're on. We really get into it. We're objective guys. We don't crap on them as much as we could. I'm a little bit more aggressive about it, but I think it's all fair. So yeah, any other last time? You have to give your prediction if you want to.
3-1 Milan. I think they get a couple goals in the first half. They get a third in the second.
It's going to be Bastoni, and Inter fans are going to start tweeting, Bastoni scores on Milan. Watch. That's what's
we can do whatever you want. 3-1 Milan. I think Spezia get like a late consolation goal, or maybe Milan score first and Spezia tie, but then Milan pull away and they get the comfortable victory.
Goal scorers? Anyone? If Maldini scores, I'll scream. So I'm going to get in so much trouble.
I'm going to stick with Leao because I think Leao's due for a goal. I got Leao.
If he starts, I don't know if
I got Milan getting a penalty in this one, and I got Kessie scoring.
Okay.
And then I got Teo scoring the other one. Again, assuming all three play.
Sure. I will order that wig if I could find that wig if Maldini scores, and I'll wear it as soon as I get it. If Maldini scores tomorrow, mark that down. I'm going to clip it right now. If Daniele Maldini scores against Spezia in tomorrow's match in Serie A, I will be ordering a black and red wig, and I'll be wearing it on the next podcast that we do when it comes in the mail. So got that down. We will clip it right now. I don't think Joe's in here watching. But yes. Yeah, Admiral, I'm going to try and get the markers, man. You want me to be Woody Page? Do you even know who Woody Page is? Matt, you remember Woody Page, right?
I know Woody Page.
Yeah. Afro clip. I'll go back all the way back.
I've seen it. It's available. So.
Well, I just clipped it. This is Maldini's first league start, Bitfrost. We just like to thank everybody that has hopped in and gone in to watch us during the show. So I will just go through the usual list here. Nate, obviously, Milan Globe's been one of the newer people. Cousin Joey here. Omar, Admiral, as usual. Sabrina was obviously in here. Dingbob Cliff, Saj, Dirty Dave, CK31, Lord Jianks, who I still don't know. Let me check my DMs. Did I get a DM from anybody? Did not. Enigma was in here. Who else? Usual crowd. Chillis was in here. Thank you, brother. I miss Texas. Texas was here last time, though.
Yeah.
Enigma. Did I say Enigma? I think
Fatiero.
Fatiero was not in here.
Oh.
I forget where Fatiero is from. Sometimes his schedule doesn't line up. We didn't get Derek in here. Derek's usually in here. He's the man. Appreciate him. He did give us a retweet. Derek, if you are in here, I apologize.
I think I saw him pop in. With the comment.
Poor. I'm saying I don't have enough money in my Milan fan from. What do you mean, Pastore? I'm confused. Milan fan in Seattle since 2007. Go Frasier. Great show. You ever watch Frasier, Matt? You're not a big show watcher. You a big show watcher?
No. I don't commit to any shows, guys.
Single doesn't commit to show. It's just Milan.
That's it, man.
And his puppies.
Yep.
How old are they now? Almost 2?
Yeah. About
Admiral,
a year and a half.
come on.
1.5.
Nice. Well, yeah, they're adorable. Theo and what's the
Tessa.
other? Tessa? Tessa. Okay. Great, adorable dogs. I'll Venmo you the wig money. No, Mark. I could afford it. I'm
He's
just
like, let me buy the wig for you.
I'm just saying it's not like feasible to spend money on that
No, I
when I'm
get it.
still in my parents'
I'm like
house.
a
You know what I'm
novelty item,
saying?
yeah.
Yeah, Santangelo, by the way, what a great guy. Sends me money when I was on vacation in Puerto Rico for a drink.
Hey, listen.
Great guy, right? Great guy. Frazier, no idea. Pastore, how old are you, bro? You don't know about Frazier? Come on. Mark, I'm not trying to insult your age, but I know you're a little bit older. You got to know about Frazier at least. What do I do for work? I mean, this is like technically, it's just like a side job for work. No, stop, Admiral. I write for The Athletic. I do other production stuff. I'm a producer for podcasts and all that other stuff. It's just commission stuff and what other job stuff on the side. I'll Venmo the hair clipper money too. Mark says. Sabrina knows Frazier at least. Sabrina's awesome. All right. Well, that's pretty much it. We've been here over an hour. Appreciate everybody in here. Milan's playing tomorrow, 9 a.m. See, Telebug coming in. Frazier, one of the greatest comedy shows of all time. Absolutely. Very true. Other than that, follow us everywhere where we told you to follow. If you missed the whole podcast, you're 30, Ukrainian moved here when you were 12. Well, then definitely watch Cheers first. It's a sitcom. Then you go and watch Frasier. They're both about over 10 seasons each. Construction Life. Hey, man, thanks for coming over here. And chilling with us.
Appreciate you guys.
See you guys. Is Frazier not coming? Admiral, you're just, stop it. He's such a wise ass. We appreciate you, though, Admiral, being in here all the time. Everyone else really means a lot. We'll see you back here after the match tomorrow. We'll see what the availability is for our other guests that usually come on from time to time. Other than that, we will see you next time.
Thank you, guys.